BBB news for you. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Kyle to get us started.
All right. Well, thank you, Shauna. I am very excited to be here today and to talk to you guys about one of my favorite things on the internet, which is LinkedIn. I've been using LinkedIn personally since 2009, and it has become an integral part of my day-to-day activities. So before I fire off, I'd like to introduce a little bit about myself. I am the Business Development Manager at Invista Performance Solutions, as Shauna shared. And what Invista is a collaboration of community and technical colleges doing what we call workforce development in Washington State. We help companies train their what we call the incumbent workforce to get the most out of their employees. I started using LinkedIn when I was working as a career advisor for the Corinthian College Network and later DeVry University. I had rode the banking bubble to the bust in 2009 and decided it was time for a career change, and ended up getting involved with career services, which is helping graduates enter the workforce. And in that transition, I learned about LinkedIn and what a valuable tool it is for job seekers in what we call personal branding, so getting their image out in front of prospective employers. When I found LinkedIn, I also was working in career services to help establish relationships between businesses and the college to help those students get employed. And while I was teaching students how to use LinkedIn, I also found out that this was an amazing tool for me to meet the right people at the right level in a company and establish a productive relationship with that organization. The presentation software that you're looking at, just as an aside, is called Prezi. If you're not familiar with it, I hope nobody gets motion sickness. It's kind of a zoom in, zoom out kind of thing. Here's a photo of me and Invista Performance Solutions, the organization I work with. When I really got involved with LinkedIn, I had one of these kind of moments where you get so bogged down in the day-to-day battles and wars of your professional life that sometimes you just don't have time to look at any new technology or new options that really might make things a lot easier for you or turn the tide of what you're working on. And the great thing about LinkedIn is it's free, so there is no salesman. And I should, as a disclaimer, share that I do not work, nor have I ever worked for LinkedIn. I've been accused of that in the past because I'm such a huge proponent for it, but I am not affiliated with them. I just love their service. So today, what we're going to be talking about is how to grow your business using LinkedIn. It is an incredibly powerful tool, and I'm going to be showing you some tricks on how to optimize your personal profile, how to establish a company profile if you don't already have one, and how to use some of the features and functions of LinkedIn to improve how you prospect new business, build current business, recruit top employees, and market your business's brand. From the poll questions that you guys started with, I noticed that about 75% of you are on LinkedIn, but a lot less, closer to 20%, have a complete profile. So I'll make sure that we cover what it takes to get a complete profile. So the main three things are how LinkedIn can help your business. I will definitely show you something about LinkedIn that you didn't know, I hope, and how to get your profile 100% complete. It's undeniable that social media is having a huge impact on how we do business and how customers find us and interact with us. there's a term that's popped up called socialnomics, and I'm going to show you guys a short video of some of the impact that this technology is having on the world at large and on our businesses. Let's see if I can just cue it up here. The video is titled Social
All right. All right. I think people can hear me now. Sorry about the delay in the audio difficulty there. Um, what I was talking about was the video really highlights some of the impacts that social media is having on our day-to-day lives, both professionally and personally. And I hope, since we're talking about LinkedIn, one stat that popped out was that 1 person to 2 people join LinkedIn every second. It is quite outstanding growth. I'd like to take you a little bit back in time now and give you a very quick history of LinkedIn and how it came to be. In 2002, eBay purchased PayPal, and it made the people who owned PayPal exceedingly rich. There was about 12 of them, and they were subsequently referred to as the PayPal Mafia. I believe that this transaction will end up going down in history as one of the really impactful business happenings of the 2000s. A few people that were made rich and went on to create new businesses from the PayPal purchase include Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Reid Hoffman. Peter Thiel went on to form Clarion Capital and the Thiel Foundation. Clarion Capital was one of the first investors in Facebook, and the Thiel Foundation gives students scholarships not to go to college, to start a business instead. It's a pretty revolutionary use of funds. Elon Musk, if you don't know him, is the founder and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla Motors. He's kind of a modern day Tony Stark, if you will. SpaceX is one of the few organizations that is able to privately launch satellites into space. And they're working on privatizing space travel as well. And then Tesla Motors, if you haven't heard of them, they make the electric cars that are getting popular right now. And Reid Hoffman, who created LinkedIn in his garage in 2002. LinkedIn went live in 2003, making it older than Twitter or Facebook. And when it was created, the mission or the philosophy that Reid had was to connect talent and opportunity on a massive scale, which is just what LinkedIn does. By the end of 2007, LinkedIn had reached a tipping point with more than 9 million members and a presence in 120 different types of industries. And LinkedIn currently has over 225 million members. They're a publicly traded company, and they make money through 3 primary streams: hiring solutions, which is a service that you can pay for to post jobs and promote openings in your company to specifically targeted demographics of people; marketing solutions, which allows organizations to place ads targeted to specific groups of people; and premium subscriptions, which is an option you have to get the paid for version of LinkedIn, if you will. I used the free version of LinkedIn for 4 years and have just switched over to the premium one. So something I'll cover a little bit today is about the differences between premium and free and the value that premium provides versus what you can get for the free version. So what? All right, that's the history of LinkedIn, but how can it help you and why is it unique? I'm going to take us through one more short video. This one is about the differences between professional and personal social networks and why that should matter to you. It's created by LinkedIn itself, and as an aside, LinkedIn has a very robust presence on YouTube. So if, as you're learning about LinkedIn, you want to dive in and get more, definitely check out their YouTube page. It's a very loaded wealth of knowledge about leveraging LinkedIn. Oops.
people use social networks? And what are the differences between personal social networks and professional social networks? LinkedIn and TNS partnered on a global study to find out.
My personal network is just entertainment and fun. Professional networks, I look for information that helps me succeed, achieve my goals, further my career.
Hidden beneath the surface of professional social networks are deep emotions around success and achievement.
Networking professionally is essential for me to learn about new opportunities and really succeed in business.
I use professional social networks to achieve my professional goals. So people I need to meet, things I need to know, or things I need to learn.
People achieve success from relevant content and insights on professional networks.
I look for career advice and recommendations on making business decisions and advancing my career.
I utilize professional networks to help me sort of ongoing continued learning. I definitely want to understand the changes that are happening in the landscape that I play in.
And brands are expected to participate.
On a professional social network, I'm interacting with brands that I think I'm going to do business with.
Our mindset on personal and professional social networks is fundamentally different.
On a personal social network, I end up just passing time. But on a professional social network, I really invest my time in ways that are going to help my business.
Marketers need to recognize these differences to optimize their efforts. Download the study now to learn more.
I think what was shared at the end there was the main difference in professional and personal social networks, and that is the idea of passing time versus investing time. And what we've covered up to now, I hope, has inspired you to spend some more time in optimizing your LinkedIn profile and really leveraging this professional social network. So what I'd like to do next is take you through some basics on how to do that. The first thing I'm going to cover is optimizing your own profile, so your personal LinkedIn page. Let's see if I can jump out here and do some screen sharing for you. So this is my LinkedIn page, and some of the basics you'll see is at the top you have the headline and the top section that has your name, headline, location, industry, and a little bit about your current and past positions. You'll also see your URL of your site and how people can get there. There's some contact information, and you can customize this to be publicly visible or not, depending on your preference. Scrolling down, you'll have a summary, which is kind of analogous to a objective or professional profile section on a resume. And then your work experience, along with recommendations people may have given you based on certain positions you've had. Certifications, organizations you're a part of, any honors and awards you would like to advertise, skills and experience. You'll notice that people can endorse your skills and experience. Education, go Cougs, interests, additional info, and then at the very bottom, they're going to list the groups you're a part of, who you're following as far as influencers, which we'll cover, news you're following, and companies you're following, and schools. When you're creating your profile, before you get complete, you'll notice a status bar for those of you who are working to get your profile 100% complete. There are certain things that need to be done before LinkedIn will give you that 100% complete status. And the reason that's important is, one, when people are looking for industry experts on LinkedIn, it looks kind of rookie to have an incomplete profile. And two, you'll show up in searches 40% more if your profile is 100% complete. The things you need to get that profile complete are listed right here. You need your industry and location, an up-to-date current position with some sort of a description of it, 2 past positions, education, a minimum of 3 skills, your photo, and at least 50 connections. And those are the basics. If you have all of this done, you will have a 100% complete profile. A few LinkedIn hacks, if you will, that I'd like to cover to not only get 100% complete, but really optimize your profile can be found, first of all, in your headline up here. When you create your profile, your headline is going to automatically be populated as your job title. you're going to want to change this to something that has to do with your industry or what you would like your page to do. I'll show this example section here, and what you'll see is an example of headlines, so experienced transportation executive, web designer, etc. You can also jump into this link and see what other people in your industry are using for their headlines to give yourself some tips. So you can see some people in here have helping businesses improve their results, Salesforce, whereas some other people just have their job title. But when you show up in searches on LinkedIn, this will be what people see first, will be this top section, having your name, your headline, and your location and industry. So you want to make sure that it pops along with a professional headshot. The next thing you want to do to optimize your profile is edit your URL. You can see down below your picture is the website that takes people to your LinkedIn. When you click edit on your URL, you're going to get a lot of options about editing the visibility of your profile as well. So you can take anything off public visibility that you want. So picture, headline, current positions, certifications, organizations, etc. And then below that is where you can customize your public profile URL. You can make it your name or whatever you want, but instead of having $! Exclamation point / it's nice to have something you've designed. This also allows you to put your LinkedIn URL at the bottom of your email signature or on a business card. It makes it look professional and nice. When you're using LinkedIn, it's also important to post with a certain amount of regularity to keep yourself visible. As you create your profile, there's an important distinction you're going to want to make between having your profile as a bridge or a destination. If it's a destination and you want to make sure, besides what it takes to be 100% complete, that you have a lot of information in here. I use my page as a destination, so there's not a lot about my professional life that you can't find on LinkedIn looking at my site. If you're making it as a bridge, have that profile inspire people visiting it to go to your company website, or another is optimizing your company profile. If you don't have a company profile, it's free to make valuable information on how to market your company and the analytics of how your followers and people interested in your company are viewing what you're sharing. So when you create your profile, and I'll show you what it looks like on the back end here, you're going to get a lot of options for your name, the language, company size, industry, a description. You can designate admins. So these are the people that are allowed to edit your LinkedIn profile, so your company profile, so you don't have to do it all by yourself. You can include your logo, your specialties, and feature your company in LinkedIn groups as well. When you post, edit, or gain followers, people don't link with your company, they follow it. So you can promote to your customers or your marketing channels for people to follow your LinkedIn your company profile, and you're going to get a lot of really awesome analytics when you share information about how engaged people are with your company on LinkedIn. This is a list of recent updates from Invista and how many people have clicked on it, what kind of interaction, which means sharing, how many people have shared that particular post, and how many people have seen it, which is the impressions. You also get the stats of any followers acquired as a result of that update. Under the insights, you're going to get some information about former employees of your company, similar companies, people, what other people have viewed. And then under analytics, you're going to get a really nice readout of, a really nice readout of your followers. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And all this information is accessible in the upper right of your profile. There'll be a little tiny picture of you from your profile picture, and this is where you can edit a lot of the more advanced features of LinkedIn. You can post jobs, edit your company page, change languages, etc. Under your edit function is where you're going to get a lot of the information for your page. So once you have it built, this is where you're going to want to do a lot of playing to optimize your company profile. You can also link to jobs and use the profile to identify new candidates. Feel free to throw out questions about the companies as well. I'd be happy to come back to them. But where I'd like to go next is how to use LinkedIn as a tool. So I hope I've given you a little bit of an idea of how to build and optimize your own profile and a company profile. But the real power in LinkedIn, and even if you don't have a company profile and have just barely completed your own your personal profile, you can still use these tools. And the reason that these are important is LinkedIn's user base. The average user on LinkedIn is 46 years old and makes $88,000 a year, which is a pretty awesome customer base that you have access to being on LinkedIn. The tool that I use the most is called Advanced Search, and you're going to find that just to the right of the search bar. So if you click on Advanced Search, you're going to have this window popping up that allows you to do a very advanced search of people. Something I need to cover is that the degree of connection has a big impact on how you filter search results on LinkedIn. Somebody you're connected with is obviously your first degree connection. Somebody that they're connected with will be your second degree connection. And then somebody your second degree's connection with is your third degree, etc. In using the advanced search, I'll give you the example of the way I use it. So in working for Invista Performance Solutions, a lot of my target audience is in HR. I work with companies to help them identify and use training solutions for their employees, and in a lot of cases that's an HR function. So people I want to talk with are high-level HR professionals. So if I look up a job title, VP of Human Resources, I want somebody who's currently in that position, and I want them within 50 miles of this zip code. Once I do that search, I'm going to get a really awesome list of people that would be worth me reaching out to. So these are all people in the HR director, VP of HR role in the Seattle area for various companies. As you can see, it's going to put my first degree connections first, second degree connections later. But if I was interested in talking about what Invista does to Delta Dental of Washington, then this would be somebody that I would want to connect with or reach out to or get in touch with in some way. And in my role of business development and in identifying potential customers or business partners for your own business, if you know somebody's name and the company they work for, you can figure out their email address pretty quick. It's usually first.last at company or first initial last at company. There are ways you can find that pretty easily. With advanced search, you can also filter it by keywords. So in my job, I'm also assisting our project management team identify new subject matter experts that we may want to hire for our class. So if there was a unique software expertise or a unique training topic, I could start using keywords and zip codes to identify potential trainers that I'd want to hire to deliver a particular training project. You can also use advanced search to find hard to find skill sets for people you may want to hire. Passive candidate searching is a tool that almost all recruiters use on LinkedIn. If you look at the overall demographics by job function of LinkedIn, the majority of people are going to be recruiters or sales professionals because of the power that some of these tools have. Advanced search, you'll notice there's some golden icons when you pull up the advanced search. These are options you get when you have a premium account. All these other features you get with a free account. So the majority of my history with LinkedIn was using a free account, and it served me just fine in leveraging the advanced search feature. To tell you the truth, I haven't used a lot of these premium features yet, but I'm excited to dive in and learn more about them as I move forward. The next tool of LinkedIn that I believe carries a ton of power can be found under the Interests tab. You'll notice a Groups button. There are over 1.8 million groups on LinkedIn, and what they are networks of people that can be leveraged for industry expertise, testing a market idea, just learning new information. They're incredibly powerful. I'm going to show an example in Linked Seattle. So as you search for groups to join or to be a part of, some of the tools you can use to figure out if you want to join this group can be found under the little eye icon here, right next to where it says member. And you can do this whether you're a member of a group or not. So what you can do is get group statistics, and you'll get some really awesome insights and information into the demographics of the group, how many people are in the group, what their job level is in their company, when it was started. And you can really dive in and get, by location, industry, function, and seniority level, get some very solid information. If you decide to join this group, some of the other tools available to you that really can add to the value of LinkedIn include setting a poll in a group. So when you are thinking about starting a discussion or sharing something with the group, you'll see these three little lines over here on the right. And what you can do is start a poll. So you can type in a question. For me, it might be, what type of training would you most like to receive in your company? And then I could specify 5 choices, hit go, decide how long the poll runs, and get some really valuable market data in a quick and dirty fashion using LinkedIn groups. When you're searching for groups, another quick way to find a group is under the top search bar. You can do this little drop down and pick groups. So you'll only be searching for LinkedIn groups and type in a few keywords and phrases and get a nice list of what kind of group you might want to join. The discussions tend to be very robust platforms to learn about professional topics. So any thoughts on PMP project management certification, you'll get a pretty good list of comments and experience in people. And using these types of communities to post jobs and gather information can be an incredibly beneficial tool to help you grow your business. The last thing I'm going to say about groups is kind of a LinkedIn hack. With LinkedIn, you can only send direct messages to people that are in your first degree connection network. However, if you are in a group with somebody and not connected to them in the first degree, you can also send them a message. So I will show you how that works. If you click on the people in a group, and I'll go back to the very end of it where I'm not connected with some individuals, you can send them a message. So this guy, Sean Kearney, I am not connected with, but if I decided he was somebody that I would like to open a dialogue with or start building a relationship with, I can send him a message by being in a group with him. The largest group on LinkedIn is called Linked HR, and I believe it has 850,000 members. But by joining some industry groups, it gives you a whole other network of people through LinkedIn that you can directly reach out to, which can be a very powerful tool. News and influencers is another very powerful feature of LinkedIn, and they recently changed the name to Pulse under the interests. If you click Pulse, you'll get what used to be news and influencers. Pulse is a news aggregating service that LinkedIn recently purchased, which is, I believe, why they changed the name. Under Pulse, you can customize a very powerful news feed to keep up to date on any trends in your industry. So under publishers, you can decide to follow these businesses and these news sources, and you'll get their news in your LinkedIn news feed every day. Under channels, you can customize the industries that you follow. So you could follow accounting, advice, economy, Competitors Picks, Higher Education is one that I follow, obviously, and you can get really nitty-gritty with the type of headlines you want to be populating your newsfeed and get a customized newsfeed by source, industry, and influencer, which is people that have a particularly large influence on LinkedIn. So the Barack Obamas, Ariana Huffingtons, Richard Branson type of people, whenever they post something new on a blog or through LinkedIn, you will get an update that they've posted something. So if there's some thought leaders that you're a particular fan of, if you will, then you can get a customized newsfeed of what they're up to. Very powerful tool. Companies, we touched on building a company profile. The reason that following additional companies can be a benefit to you on LinkedIn is A, scoping the competition. If you have some competition that operates on LinkedIn, you can find what they're up to, what they're posting, how their LinkedIn presence is, and get a pretty big list of their employees if you wanted to work on passive candidate recruitment. And Bellevue is pretty small, but there are some pretty large companies that have a solid presence on LinkedIn. And if you wanted to follow them, get insights, it could be a useful tool for the growth of your business. You can also get insights as to who's following this company. So let me jump back here. By figuring out their products and services, some insights about the company, and identifying even former employees, it can give you some pretty powerful tools as to what types of skills and experience these industries look for, and can give you a nice little pool of former employees to reach out to and learn even more about that organization. A new feature of LinkedIn that I'm a huge fan of as well is under the Education and the Interests tab. This can be a very powerful way to build your network quickly. So LinkedIn for Education, if you just go to see your school, you're going to get an option to claim that I'm an alumnus from this college. So for me, it's Washington State University. And what it's going to do is take the years that I was in school and give me a very beautiful list of what they're up to. So you can change the years attended, and you'll get a list of where they live, where they work, what they do, what their skills are, how you're connected, what they studied. And then below that, you'll have a big list of those people. So in building your LinkedIn network, I definitely recommend using the Education feature, because you can get a nice list and maybe connect with some people that perhaps you lost touch with in a past experience in school. The last thing I'll touch on before I switch over to addressing some questions is the Help Center. Under the little picture in the upper right, when you go to the LinkedIn Help Center, you can get a ton of help in leveraging LinkedIn and getting the most out of your presence on this network. It's a very powerful FAQ, or frequently asked question, Help Center feature, and LinkedIn is very responsive. If your question's not on here, they will get it on there for you. So between the YouTube LinkedIn channel and the LinkedIn Help Center, if you have a question about the network, it should show up pretty easily. A couple other just unexpectedly cool things that I found in using LinkedIn is they have mobile applications for both Androids, iPhones, tablets, and they have a sister app that's called Card Munch, which is a tool you put on your smartphone. You can then take a picture of a business card you receive, and it'll automatically put that business card as a contact in your phone and send them a request to connect with you on LinkedIn. Simple, but a very cool feature, and it's called Card Munch, all one word. Very cool. So let's see if there's some questions that may have popped up that I could address.
Okay, Kyle, it looks like we got some great questions in. The first question is, what are the identity theft risks to posting on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and other forms of social media? Is there anything that should not be added to the profile or made public?
with LinkedIn, which is what I could speak with the most knowledge, from what I understand for identity theft, the idea is you don't necessarily want your name, location, and birthday being visible. So if identity theft is something that you are concerned about, when you edit your profile, you can, when you click on the edit the URL, go back to edit here, it'll give you that option to adjust your privacy settings. I don't know any numbers or quantified identity theft information for the social networking sites, but I do know that with Facebook and LinkedIn, there's a lot of options to hide your profile. For me, I use LinkedIn professionally and Facebook very personally. So my Facebook page is completely locked down where only people that I'm familiar with can see anything on it. Whereas I use LinkedIn as a business tool, so I want my visibility higher. So I make almost everything publicly visible. But for personal information on LinkedIn, you can customize the visibility of it. So I'd recommend adjusting that to protect your information if it's a concern.
Great answer. We have another question. When building a brand new LinkedIn profile from scratch, what is the most efficient method of building up a number of connections, say from 0 to 500?
So something that LinkedIn gives you the option to do, which is kind of scary, is to use your contacts in one of your email accounts to send invitations to people on LinkedIn. In working with a lot of people on optimizing their LinkedIn profiles, I've heard concern about allowing LinkedIn to access all their contacts on their email accounts. When LinkedIn, if you allow LinkedIn to do that, what it will do is send everybody in your email account an invitation on LinkedIn. If they're not connected, if they're not on LinkedIn, it'll send them an option to join it. What it won't do is give anybody, even LinkedIn, access to your messages in that account. So it's not a risk of letting somebody access your personal email, but it is a risk of blowing up your friends and coworkers with invitations to connect on LinkedIn, which you may have gotten in the past.
And we had some great information come in regarding the identity theft. It looks like the average consumer rate of identity theft is 4.9%. However, the average percent of identity theft of LinkedIn users that fall victim to identity theft is 10.1%, which is still relatively low, but when it comes to identity theft, we'd rather see that at about 0%. So that looks like all the questions at this time, and I just want to thank Kyle again for giving us the insight on LinkedIn. It was a great presentation. And thank you all for attending. And please visit us at akorww.bbb.org/webinar to register for any upcoming webinars and also view the live recordings of these webinars. Next month, we're going to welcome Rachel Bell back with Hiring Thing, who will be showing us how to reduce the time and cost it takes to hire new employees. And registration is open for that webinar currently. Also, if your accredited business is interested in presenting a future webinar, please contact me, Shauna Dutton, for more information at 206-676-4164. Or you could always send an email before we close out the webinar, and we'll make sure to get back to you. Also, if you have any additional questions for Kyle, please feel free to message us a question, and we'll get back to you after the webinar has ended. Thank you all again. Have a wonderful day.